Alright, tubers, we're up here in the blind. Today's the day I'm gonna start hunting. I'm not sure exactly what these deers are doing yet, but I brought my son out yesterday evening. We dumped about 5-10 pound of corn, and it was gone this morning. But by the time I got up here, so I'm thinking that they're moving through here of an evening. Used to, a couple years ago, they'd hit this trail about 8:30, 9 o'clock every morning. And I was up here this morning. They'd been into the corn, but I didn't see a deer at all. They were here before I set up this morning. So we're going to try to do it of the evening, see if they come through. So right now it's just a waiting game. If I get anything or see anything, I'll try to kick the camera on here. I just saw a couple little bucks come in here. They come up on the trail here behind me. That's what was making the new trail that I'll talk to you about. Excuse me. That's what was making the new trail that I was talking to you about. He was heading down off that trail down to the corn pile, and that four-wheeler that you hear right now came and spooked him off. So I doubt he'll come back in. I'm gonna sit here a few more minutes, but if not, I'll try to get him tomorrow and set up on that trail behind me. All right, guys, I'm gonna knock it off for tonight. What I was doing, I was sitting in the blind down there with the crossbow, and heard something behind me. So I looked over my shoulder, and standing right here on this trail was about right there. Came right up behind me. You can see I'm only about 10 yards to the blind there. There's a little old little spike. Well, he looked at me for a few minutes, and I just kept real still, and he settled down, and he headed right down to the corn pile. You can see he headed right that way, and he's gonna go in there on it. And of course, you can hear the kids in the background on the four-wheeler. I think you can hear that. Anyway, now they got spooked and they ran right up this trail here. So what I did, I just took I've got just a frontal, just a front side blind. I'm gonna tie it off to that old fallen tree and see if I can, if maybe from right here, if he comes up that trail again, I'm gonna try to take him tomorrow night if I can. So, but I don't know. You get some and you lose some. I know the kids are just doing what they do, But maybe tomorrow. Maybe tomorrow. All right, tubers. This is day 2 of the hunt. Started yesterday, and I got some footage there. I'm not sure if I'm going to plug it in at the beginning of this video or at the end of it, but you'll see it in here either way. I'm just going to recap what happened. I was set up on this trail in front of the blind because I'd put corn out. I thought that's the trail that they were running. I put corn out, they'd eat it up. So that's where I set up at. Well, yesterday, about 7 o'clock. I always take the time when I see a deer, because a lot of times they're creatures of habit. 90% of the time, if you see them come through one way, that's where they're coming through. Now, different things will, affect that. Obviously, like yesterday, when they came through, I noticed their pattern was to come up this trail behind me and shoot down and eat the corn. They weren't coming up that trail and eating the corn. I thought it was does down there doing that. Turns out, like I said yesterday, I heard a noise behind me. I turned around and there's two little bucks running together. They're just spikes. But he came up. I turned around, you know, to see what it was. Well, it spooked him a little bit. So I just kind of froze. I held real still. He chilled out. And then I saw him just walk right down from his trail. Walk right down on the doe trail and eat the corn. So my strategy today is to set up out this side of the blind. My blind, the opening that I made, is out that side. Now, if I get this deer today, which is my plan, I hope to have the camera set up. I'm looking 6:30 to around 7:15 because I saw him at about 10 till 7, right at 7 o'clock when they came through here. If I get the deer today, this will be the last time for probably a month I'll come up here and hunt this. I'm just going to let it rest and everything chill out. I got the crossbow here set up out this side of my blind. I thought about sitting up on that side of the trail over there using a flat facing blind that I've got, but I decided I'm gonna set up right here. I'm really confident, man, that he came up through here, man. He was just bolting up that trail. I don't know if it was because, like I said, the reason I didn't get him, you know, when he came up and headed down toward the corn, I froze. I let him move on through, and then a four-wheeler just started blaring through here. There's a big bottom down there, down lower where you can see in one of my first videos. After I shot the buck up here, he ran right down into that flat. It's where they had done a lot of strip mining, and it's flat down there, and the kids like to ride. And I got a little bit aggravated, but I did the same thing. It's hard to tell how many hunters that I disturbed when I was a kid, you know, riding my motorcycle and stuff. We didn't have four-wheelers back then, but anyway, I did the same thing. If they're up here riding the four-wheelers and he gets spooked off again, I'm probably just going to boogie. I'll get out of here and wait until it gets a little colder. Things are more mellow up here then, to let people do the four-wheeling thing, whatever. But anyway, if I get, you know, if it's a bum deal tonight, I'm just going to quit on this particular hunting spot until everything chills out, and I go where I'm going to set up the blind that Tough Nut gave me. Tough Nut, thank you so much for the blind. It's awesome, dude. I'm going to set the blind up in a whole different location and try to hunt it until everything chills out here. So anyway, let me just show you around the camp what I'm doing here, how I'm set up. And you can kind of get by with this in a certain semi-urban situation because this couple 300 acres of woods is surrounded by people. I just threw my blind up here, okay? I've got my window unzipped, and now truly wild deer, you know, ones that have never been exposed to people or around people, would be spooked by that. But I've noticed that these semi-urban deer is what I call them, semi-wild, whatever, you can usually, if they see you and don't smell you, you can usually be very, very still. Well, as with this blind, it may look a little unusual to them, but they're not spooked as easy as truly wild deer. So I'm gonna set my camera up out this window, or out a window. I don't know how to get the best view for you guys, plus get my shot, but I don't want to be too close to my camera and shoot my camera. Anyway, that's pretty much the setup, guys. I'm gonna camo up in a few minutes. It's only about, well, let's see. Let's check the phone, see what time it is. Okay, we're looking at 4:50. I've got a few minutes. What I believe I'm going to do, since I redoing my whole setup here, I'm going to make this the door. Out this way, and fill all this in, okay? And I'm going to work on a little fire pit here. I've got a hour and a half anyway till those deers roll in here, I'm sure. So I don't want to make too much racket, but I'm gonna dig me a fire pit right here, and I gotta box this whole area, and it'll give me something to do while I'm waiting on the deer.